Good morning, students. Students, as we are doing the chapter electric charges at rest, that means the static charges. In this, we discussed about the importance of electricity, how electricity is discovered, how some of the substances get charged up on rubbing. In this, we discuss about that there are some substances which get charged up on rubbing, and there are some other substances which do not get charged up on rubbing. That means there are two type of substances: charged objects and uncharged objects, in which we discussed that the substances which get charged up, they do not allow charges to flow through them, and they are known as insulators. And there are some substances which do not get charged up on rubbing. They allow charges to flow through them, and they are known as conductors. Now, today we will discuss about the kinds of charges present in nature. Most of the early experiments on study of properties of charged up objects were done by using ebonite rods and flannel cloth. That means it is done by rubbing ebonite rods against flannel cloth and glass rod, which is rubbed against the silk cloth. These gave us very useful and interesting informations about their properties. Now, let us do an activity to learn about these properties. We have to take two ebonite rods and two glass rods along with two stands and some thread. Suspend one of the ebonite rod and one of the glass rod from each of the two stands. That means we are taking two ebonite rods and two glass rods, and one of the ebonite and glass rod will be suspended, and charge up each of the two suspended rods by rubbing them vigorously against flannel and silk respectively. Then what we have to do? We have to rub ebonite rod with flannel and silk rod and glass rod with silk. Now we will take the other ebonite rod and charge it up also by vigorous rubbing against flannel. Now another ebonite and glass rod must be rubbed with the flannel and silk. We will bring this charged ebonite rod near the suspended and charged ebonite rod. We will find the suspended ebonite rod moving away. That means it is getting repelled by the charged ebonite rod. Now we will take the charged ebonite rod towards the suspended and charged glass rod. We will find that the glass rod moving towards, that means it is getting attracted by the charged ebonite rod. We will repeat these observations by charging up other glass rod. When we will bring it in turn near the suspended ebonite rod and glass rods, we will find that the suspended charged glass rod moves away or get repelled by the charged glass rod held in the hand, and the suspended charged ebonite rod moves towards, that means it gets attracted by the charged glass rod held in the hand. Now, from the above observations, we can conclude that a charged object exerts a force not only on uncharged objects but also on other charged objects. That means a charged object attract or repel another charged object. The force exerted by the charged object on another charged object is a force of repulsion when the two charged up objects are similar in nature, and it is attraction when the two charged up objects are different in nature. Because of this difference in their behavior, we can say that there are two opposite kind of charges in nature, and we can also say that like charges repel each other while unlike charges attract each other. Now, these early experiments of the kind described above, that we discussed above, showed that there are two kinds of opposite to each other charges in nature. They were referred to as positive charge and negative charge. It was Benjamin Franklin who named the charge produced on a glass rod on rubbing against silk as a positive charge, and that produced on an ebonite rod on rubbing against flannel as a negative charge. We now use this classification along with basic rules like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other to decide the nature of an unknown charge. Unknown The unknown charge is positive. The given charge, if you have a object with positive charge, if it is repelled by a charged up glass rod or attracted by a charged up ebonite rod, it is negative. If the unknown charged object get repelled by charged up glass rod or attracted by ebonite rod, that means it is having positive charge. It is it is negative if it is attracted by a charged up glass rod or repelled by a charged up ebonite rod. That means, students, if you have charged up glass rod and you have to check the charge on another object, then bring the object nearer to glass rod. If there is repulsion, that means it is positively charged, and if there is attraction, that means it is negatively charged. In another hand, we can do with the ebonite rod also. If you have a charged up ebonite rod and an object that we have to decide the charge upon it, then we will bring the object nearer to ebonite rod. If there is repulsion, that means the object is having negative charge, and if there is attraction, that means the object is having positive charge. Now, as we already know that an ebonite rod is known to get negatively charged up when it is rubbed against flannel. A piece of thermocol or a drinking straw gets charged up when it is rubbed against paper. A plastic scale gets charged up when it is rubbed against a piece of woolen cloth or flannel. We can test the charged up nature of all these objects by using them to pick up small pieces of paper or dry grasses or other objects which are lighter than these objects. But students, what about the rubbing objects? That means, what about the piece of flannel, paper or woolen cloth against which the ebonite rod or the plastic straw or the plastic scale get rubbed up? We find that in all these cases they also get charged up. That means flannel, paper or woolen clothes are also get charged up. Thus, the piece of flannel, paper or woolen cloth can also attract tiny pieces of paper or dry grass. We can therefore say that when two objects are rubbed against each other, they both get charged up. There is, however, an interesting feature of these two charged up objects. If they are simultaneously brought near teeny pieces of paper, the combination does not attract the piece of paper. The combination therefore behaves like an uncharged object. This can happen if the two objects carry equal but opposite charge. What will be the reason of this? If the two objects which are rubbed against each other, if both are having equal but opposite charges, then the combination of these two will behave like an uncharged object. So we can say that when two objects are rubbed against each other, they both get charged up with equal and opposite amounts of charges. In other words, we can say that charges are always produced in pairs. So students, that's all for today. We will discuss earthing and method of charging up in next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.